Hello. Hi. Today we're watching The Cost of Concordia by Internet Historian. You want to watch with me? Let's begin.
The Costa Concordia, ship of dreams. It's been 8 years. I can still smell the buffets from their 5 restaurants.
Oh, this is a cruise?
The casino and 3-story theater had hardly been used. The gym, the day spa, the sheets in her 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even been slept in. Costa Concordia cost $570 million to build.
What?
And you could tell. You could really tell.
Is he playing Titanic music? That's weird.
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey. But that ship, she was cursed.
Oh my god.
When she premiered,
no.
the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing. A bad omen.
But I'm not the superstitious.
Oh.
Nothing could go wrong on Friday the 13th of January, 2012.
On the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic.
No.
On a ship that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding. Especially not when you have a 5-star max level captain like Francisco Schettino. A man who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years.
He knows
What?
exactly what to do in case of an emergency.
For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008 when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010 in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision.
What?
I've got a good feeling.
Okay, so this guy he went from the head of security to captain. One, really weird. He has crashed 2 ships. 2, crazy. And now he's on a 3rd? Like, what is this, bowling? 3 strikes and you're out? Or whatever sport ball game that is?
About this. So let's set the scene. It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant. Martin the Magician is setting up for his show. And the ship is setting up for a little detour. It's called a sail-by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition. Schettino, the captain, comes into the dining hall with a lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Schettino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's
they
time
have a
for that
threesome?
sail-by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever.
Oh no.
Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio.
No.
And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do. Schettino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited.
Are
At
any
least
of them
we
qualified?
think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start. The second in command orders the helmsman to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island.
Oh.
They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail by salute. so he's confident in what he's doing.
Oh
We're
my
going closer than
gosh.
we've ever been before.
This guy.
The captain's eyeballing it again.
Who keeps giving this guy a ship?
New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box.
Oh.
She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we talk about that, let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315. So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are.
Oh no.
However, the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem, complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that.
Why?
330, he says. The helmsman relays 330. The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel.
Oh, I see.
A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Schettino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct collision.
Oh, shit!
Schettino immediately...
All of this for literally nothing. For literally nothing. All of it just because he wanted to be like, what if we got really close and like waved and like honked their horn? Oh my gosh, I'm scared. Also, he could honk a freaking horn, man.
Commands the ship to start turning away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327. Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But
Why
at this
don't they
point,
just slow it
even if they
down?
clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no. One more time, the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing.
No!
8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells, we're gonna hit! Collision.
Oh! Collision. This is so goofy. He's like using the Sims as people. Ed time.
Downtown.
I love ads. I love ads. I can't wait to see what the ad is for today.
Nordtown. It's day 56
Yippee.
of playing Russian roulette. Seems I never win.
Gonna drink all by yourself?
Somebody has to.
I hear you're a man who's good at finding folks.
I'm many things.
I'm looking for this fella. I gots to find him. It's breaking my little heart.
I'll see what I can do. I have contacts in thousands of servers in dozens of countries across the globe.
NordVPN.
And just like that, she was gone. The only thing she left was a calling card. Sometimes when you follow a case, it follows you back. NordVPN can protect my online data. But who can protect me from myself? When they said this job gets easier, it was just another lie. Forensics found his
What the heck are
password
those
spread all the
shoes?
way down the block. In a perfect world, we'd all use NordVPN. But I guess this isn't that kind of story. I took the brakes off my car. Man like me never really learned how to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
I took the steering wheel out too. I let the road take me where I'm supposed to be. That's right, Toots. Your husband's dead.
Aww.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Go to nordvpn.com/internethistorian for a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
Nice. That was actually really good.
Ad over.
Yippee!
The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in.
That's
A
rough.
loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm, there's panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside is trapped and terrified. There's confusion across the ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage.
Okay, well, my thing is at least they're near to the shore. Because didn't the Titanic sink like in the middle of the ocean? So that kind of sucked. But at least now they're like really close. So, you know, maybe they can have rescue and stuff. Yeah. So it's like, it's more of a goofy thing.
On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift.
Okay.
Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding.
6?
22 seconds later, a blackout happens. Lights, electrics,
This is the
water
best
pumps,
magic show
everything.
ever.
The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that, too, is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness. A quick breakdown of the flooding. When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments.
Okay.
At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly.
Yeah.
Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8, and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially, though, are a problem because they contain the engines and the electrics.
Ow.
These main generators give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage. A few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on.
Okay, nice. Perfect.
When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage. And it caused a huge panic in the theatre, as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests.
Oh,
Staff
that's
rally
smart.
and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts. All of the watertight doors close except for door 12,
Oh no.
which is jammed. The captain calls Pilon, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in?
Uh-oh.
Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's
Okay,
go
but
down
like
the
how
other
much
side.
water?
In a moment, we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd,
Oh my
further
gosh.
increasing panic. On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic.
Oh
Let's
my
just say we have a
gosh.
blackout.
I love lying.
The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
We want the captain to inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation and will inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally,
Wow.
at the same
Good
time in
lie.
the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation.
Oh
The
my
captain calls the
god.
Costa Crisis Unit, Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to
Ow.
reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine. You know, hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore.
Oh,
which is a
nice.
very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as
Perfect.
possible.
Yeah.
A panicked passenger senses that something is off. This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise and now the ship is tilting. So, she contacts her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger.
Oh my gosh,
Wrong.
he's so stupid.
Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative.
kill you to
the
be
cruise director
honest?
says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not."
This guy, like, I kind of respect how delusional he is. He's like, "Oh, don't worry, I could fix this. Tula, don't worry, I got this.
Want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges? Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests? It's just a blackout. I gotta go. The harbour master
What?
is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks, asking pointless questions, like, is it still flooded? Yes. Yes, it is. The captain is essentially in denial of the situation.
Oh my god.
The harbour master calls again. Finally, he says, the ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing. He qualifies with, no one dead or injured. The harbour master asks if he
Wait,
needs help.
he's lying?
Just a tugboat? When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded, the captain finally realizes that things are really bad, and they are not going to improve. The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the scene. Meanwhile, up with
he's
the
probably
passengers,
scared of
the
going to
cruise director's
jail.
assistant says, everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem. She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense,
Yeah.
and they're busy
I've
figuring out
heard,
how to
like, don't
abandon ship.
listen.
Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge.
Hey, capo.
Captain, the passengers are going on board the...
Low-key, I don't know how dangerous it would be, but like, what if you just jumped off and started swimming? Like, how hard could it be to like get to one of those emergency boats and pick you up?
boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own.
Okay.
The captain says, "No, stay. We're leaving."
Oh my
So what
gosh,
do we do?
somebody
General emergency?
literally killed the captain. Tie him up or something.
The captain tells Ferrarini that he's
Put a sock
abandoning
in
ship.
it.
Abandoned ship. Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. But at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations.
Okay,
They contact
yay!
Pietro Mille, the helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time.
Okay.
The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity, and it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out, and with that comes panic. And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available, and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off.
Okay.
The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's
This
lying.
captain is insanely stupid and should go to jail.
The captain then says to
so many
bottom out the
reasons.
starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless.
Oh.
The
Yep.
deputy mayor of
Good
Giglio,
one.
Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold. As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers.
Aww.
Schettino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit.
What?
Dimitri Christidis and Silvia Coronica leave with him. The maitre d' and Sir Morton both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Mille reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was
my
already rising
God.
from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south. Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation. He then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail. A while later, rescue helicopters arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is no joke.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
goodness. It was no joke, mi amor. Yes.
You're not allowed to make a film
I'm
movie.
allowed.
Who say you are?
You're
Second
not
helicopter.
allowed to make a. You're not allowed to film yourself getting. Oh my. You know, I get it's an emergency situation, but if someone told me that, I would literally punch them in the face. Like, shut up, bro. Like, oh, I'm not allowed to film myself going through an evacuation of a sinking ship? I feel like that's exactly what I'm allowed to do. That's what people would want me to do. But it's because it's that girl. That girl was the one who was like, you're not allowed, blah, blah, blah.
A faster model sets off. The ship stops heeling and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learnt that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be
God.
super accurate. But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara, and among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing.
That's crazy.
A while later, a rescue
he had a
boat
good
picks up the
view.
captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police. He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life. Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks.
Wow.
But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain?
We were the last to leave the ship.
What a pussy, bro. Oh my god, that guy needs to get slapped silly. That guy is the most, like, toddler, baby, infant person I've ever... He's not even a man. Like, he's just a child. Oh my god. What is wrong with this guy? There's people still on board as he was doing the interview. That is insane to me. Whatever, dude. Oh my god. and this is not the first ship he's crashed. Like, at that point, is it his fault? Yes, it's his fault. Or is it the people that let him captain this ship's fault? Like, you hire someone who doesn't know how to steer a ship, and you get surprised they don't know how to steal a ship, and they lie about it. Anyway, gosh.
All day Saturday, rescuers search for people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin's service director.
A broken
In the end,
leg?
32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic.
That's so
And then
sad.
there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
Whoa. That's so freaky. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Jeez. That's devastating.
But this isn't the end. It's just
Wait, how
the
did they
halfway
get it
point.
right side up again?
What most people know is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead, and that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in. There they are. The deets.
Why you filmed that? Oh. Looting. I love looting.
Loot box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Oh,
This iron
money.
chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone.
Oh,
Within
people...
days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found.
Yeah, easy bip.
Who steals a big fuck off bell?
They're just
Even the
bipping,
server
man.
admins
6'7".
were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving and pinching. Later on, stolen as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay.
Oh,
Ships
wow.
from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
No.
I know you want to see Schettino go to jail, and we'll get to that. But
Yes,
first,
I
we
do.
have to talk about someone else. Dominika Samorton.
That was a close one.
The girl that said you can't film
There was
this.
speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Intense
Drama.
media speculation reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love
Okay.
for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, hold the freaking phone, man. Okay, I can understand what they're doing was wrong. I can understand, cheating's bad, blah blah blah, and she's a Karen. But to blame him crashing the ship on her distracting him, that's a reach. That is a reach. But it is entertaining. But yeah, let's not blame the woman who didn't have any control over the ship. Yeah, that's a reach if I ever heard one. Dude's crashed 2 ships before this ship. Like, that was not her at all. I think he was just, like, crazy or something.
And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, and they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, some spicy in the story.
Miss Samorton also loved the spotlight, however.
Everyone, oh look!
Oh,
And
she's
took
a
several
media
interviews.
mogul.
But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Schettino,
What?
saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Samorton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package.
Huh?
Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently.
What?
So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia. And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have
She
been caught
likes to lie
trafficking
for
drugs.
fun, too.
As an aside, Schettino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Makes it smoother
in his hair.
less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found.
Oh.
How did we get here? Oh, right, a helicopter. Samorton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin where they found Miss Samorton's lingerie and other articles of clothing as well as a makeup bag.
How would
The
you know it's
jig was up.
hers?
But they continued denying it. Samorton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony.
Okay.
The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
Either tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Yes, I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
What?
But now, stop asking about my private life.
she was indeed the captain's lover.
What is
No
up,
way.
Trouble Alert Nation?
Oh, gosh.
Schettino cheated on his wife with
Drama
Or10.
alert.
Oh my god!
She and Schettino had been having an affair for several weeks. She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because
What?
nobody questions you when
She
you're the
got free
captain's
cruise?
lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die, because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial, she used her fame in Moldova to become
What
a
did she
political
say? What?
activist, often appearing on television and radio and in
So
articles
dramatic.
covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
She got arrested? Wait, why did she get arrested? I totally didn't know why. Because she didn't do anything, right? She was just hooking up with the captain? That's not illegal. Oh, it's not boat related. Oh. Oh, she got arrested for
It was some stuff
littering?
about victims of violence, women's rights,
Girl power.
yada yada yada, and interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her
Hey, she's got Instagram.
Oh God, not again.
Oh no. No. Don't put her behind any type of cockpit.
Several civil suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Oh, rip.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship was...
Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that
Yeah.
wasn't true. Approval
Wait,
isn't
what?
required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail by salutes. Now, in response to the
They
civil suits,
did?
Costa Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000, is the minimum compensation under international law when
Only
a ship is
14K?
abandoned.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home
Yeah, like,
early.
okay, let's say you're from the US, a flight to wherever, Italy, or wherever they were, that's like alone a couple thousand. So let's say like 3,000 round trip. That's being generous too. So then it's 9,000, and then let's say that the Carnival cruise was like 5,000, including your bed and all your food for like 5 days. I don't know. I think they could be a little bit cheaper. But anyway, basically, that doesn't, like, all your transportation, like, your vacation could have easily costed $14,000 or closer to like 5 to 10 to 14. You know what I mean? About $5K for a ticket to Italy from US. Yeah. Like some of this doesn't even seem like it would. Like, oh my god. And yeah, not to mention all of the mental damages and lost documentation and loss of like personal belongings. That doesn't even do it. Yeah, and dead family members or friends. bare minimum. That's like pennies to a dollar. The therapy costs, the loss of work, your traumatic event being turned into an internet spectacle. Ooh, I would be mad.
And that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused to take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these
Yeah.
poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
They should at least get like 100K each, in my opinion.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook for all criminal liability for the whole thing. They've washed their hands of the incident and flecked the residual droplets of
You can do that? Oh, I didn't know. I could just pay $1 million and I won't have to go to trial? I have to pay... Oh my god, wait, I'm having a moment. Can people do that? That's really scary. I've never... Oh god, okay, I'm just gonna keep watching.
responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They
Wow.
didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of $11,000 joined civil parties against Schettino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded €30,000 each. Other cases, especially those
30,000?
involving lost relatives,
So is that...
they were
Victims of shipwreck receive... Oh, so it's 100 million divided by however many is 30,000 euros each. So that's a little bit better than 14,000. That's like double, triple.
awarded €30,000 each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They should have millions.
New York attorney Peter Renee traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee & Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
These guys seem like they're
And
gonna
while
be
on the job,
clowns.
a 7th case cropped up via email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana.
so Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch.
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details.
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, how much money do you think this is worth?
Yeah, that's what you think
this
about
is a huge
when
red
your
flag,
daughter and
Petey.
granddaughter die.
In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Oh, hoi hoi. It was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. Uh-huh. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused. So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle. And the story changed
she was
again. Okay, I'm not
hiding.
dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries.
What a waste of time.
I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat. Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbor.
Oh.
Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
The law firm that never sleeps, call 1-800-664-7.
Oh, that's a bad idea. Oh, that's a very bad idea.
No! Oh my god.
Mario,
I'm moving to
would
Hungary.
you teach me some Italian?
Oh, of course. Get back on board, for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Schettino to Vada a bordo caso,
get
became a
back
bit of a
on
national
board.
hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Schettino to go down with the ship.
Yeah.
And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just a blackout, De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which
Let's
likely
go.
saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most Italians
God,
who
he
were tired
probably
of their
saved
public servants being
hundreds of
corrupt and
lives.
avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting Vada a bordo caso were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone.
No way,
But
got
then,
popular on
in September 2014,
TikTok.
without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Wait, what?
What I said, he'd been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. De Falco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to
Wow.
know what's true.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He like literally saved hundreds of lives, but he gets demoted? That is so much drama. What a baby, man. Oh my god.
Office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, De Falco said buenas noches, ya later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician.
Good.
In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
Yay! He deserves that. Goosebumps? Dun, 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 dun. We should watch Goosebumps.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli.
What?
By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area.
Oh my gosh.
While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian.
That's smart.
But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
How is this man pulling any
Hold on,
woman?
I got it. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court.
He's Italian.
And all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Sylvia were all given suspended sentences. Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro,
Aha.
the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
Why would you say that?
That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped again, and he hasn't been found since.
No way! He literally... Hey, like, honestly, sure. He didn't really seem like he did much wrong anyway. He just seemed like a scared kid that didn't understand English and was just being told what to do. Oh my gosh, that's kind of crazy. That's pretty badass.
So that Ferrarini gave his testimony, then look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty!
Yeah.
Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison.
Only 16?
But wait, there's still the appeals. The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected!
Oh, okay,
So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a titanic affair.
But he only got 16.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
Nice.
Said I will not be making any comment.
Oh, that hurt.
Okay, so they... Yeah, I was wondering how they put the ship back. Linus ship
The salvage
tips.
operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around.
Oh.
In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform.
That's
The
so
sponsons
cool.
were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more.
Whoa! Let's go!
The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship.
Nice!
And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin.
Oh, I see.
That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes.
Huh? The end.
Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia.
Wow.
That sweet maiden of the sea. And as for you, little fella, well, it's time to return you from whence you came.
That is so cool.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out. Number 2, there's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because it was temporarily restricted. Now it's not. Enjoy. 3. If you've never seen the second channel before, give it a go. It's a different type of content, but we put a lot of production into it. It's not just offcuts. 4. There are a couple secret channels as well, but I ain't telling you where they are. 5. No more 45-minute videos on the main channel. Back to 10 to 15 minutes and more of them. 6. There's a Q&A coming out next week on incognito mode. It's got a ton of detail that we had to cut for the sake of brevity, and will no doubt feature a ton of corrections as well. That's it. Thank you.
Yippee! Yippee! That was such a good video. That was such a good video. I had no idea anything about that ship, to be honest. Crazy story. I cannot believe that guy is like anywhere in the general public at all. That guy needs to go to jail forever. 33 people died. That is so insane to me. Woohoo! Yeah! Alright, let me do this really quick. Thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know in the comments down below what you want me to watch next. And like and subscribe for more. Goodbye! Mwah.